meeting is being recorded.
All right, if that didn't wake you up, all right, welcome in. Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. We've reached the half century mark here. We are on episode 50. We are on the Justin Houston episode.
Let's go.
It's November 17th, 2022. High school football in North Dakota is wrapped up. And our guest
top 5 holiday today, guys. It is National Pickle Day.
Yeah,
right.
this is a made up holiday I can get behind.
I agree.
Honestly, I support the shit out of it.
I agree. Who doesn't love a good pickle?
It needs to be protected.
Protect pickles at all costs.
Yes. Pickles' lives matters.
There it is.
Now, technically, would it be pickles or cucumbers?
Pickles. Cucumbers are trash.
But they're you get what I'm saying though with this.
Oh yeah, they're the same thing, but they're not.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Thank you.
Pickles are just pickled cucumbers.
Yep, but they're better.
Yeah, but you kind of get what I was trying to say, where they're the same thing, but they're not. So do pickles' lives matter or cucumbers' lives? Well, cucumbers' lives don't matter because we're changing them.
Yep.
To make them better.
It's like a caterpillar to a
butterfly.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. I like where your head's at.
Is some wisdom right there if I've ever heard it.
No, that's 2 weeks in a row where we got a Fun Fact Friday on a Thursday being recorded on a Monday.
There it is. There it is.
Our analogies are top notch.
Your allergies are top notch?
Analogies.
Analogies. Okay.
Apparently, this guy can't enunciate.
Nope. Sorry. I just don't think Dylan's smart enough to understand what an analogy is. He lives in North Dakota.
I know what an analogy is. I just couldn't hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah. Maybe, and I have shitty ears too, but
this is true.
But it looks like the Commanders are about to tie this game up.
They tied it.
Oh, all right.
Brian Robinson pissed off fantasy owners right now.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of fantasy owners, Travis Etienne did not get Ethan 3 touchdowns, but he did win.
Etienne, my dick, still won though, so we are good to go.
There it is.
Let's roll, baby.
There it is. Michigan took care of business. Nebraska still eats corn the long way. Northwestern still is looking for their first win on this side
Aaron Rodgers is still Dallas's daddy.
Let me finish here. Quit interrupting me. That's rude. NDSU took another step towards securing a seed in the FCS playoffs. Iowa took care of that cheese wasteland in Wisconsin.
Let's go, baby.
Vikings Bills played probably one of the most exciting games I've ever seen. The Chiefs shut down Etienne, but didn't stop Ethan's team from winning, and the Chiefs won.
Nope.
And then we've got some previews. We've got Iowa, Minnesota this week. We got Dallas, Minnesota this week. Michigan plays Illinois. And to finish it off, we've got the state championship game between NDSU and UND. So, guys, how we doing? How are things over in Minnesota? Did you guys get a bunch of snow?
Roughly like 2 inches maybe, so nothing too bad. A solid 322 car accidents today, so Minnesotans still do not know how to drive. But really nothing changed.
Grant, are you hungry?
No, I got this crazy dog trying to yell at me right here.
Oh.
So
did you forget the peanut butter?
No. I don't know if this dog wants to go outside or she just wants a treat. So.
Oh, she's being a dirty girl.
That's why Grant wants.
We'll figure.
That's why she's growling. Grant forgot the peanut butter. He doesn't want to admit it though.
I didn't bring the Jif home from work today.
Oh, what the heck?
No, we didn't get a whole lot of snow. I mean, it's some. It makes you sit back and like you said earlier, Dylan, ask yourself why we live where we live because it's awful.
Yeah, well, we got 18 inches here, so
18.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
it was. Yeah.
I really wasn't complaining about like the small dusting we got, but now I'm really not going to complain knowing that you got 18 inches.
Yeah, not fun, and I think it's going to be here to stay for the long haul. I don't think it's disappearing. Looking at the forecast for the upcoming week, but
it's going to get brutally cold.
Yeah,
and thank God I will be gone this weekend and do not have to experience that.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
you'll
nice.
don't worry. It's Minnesota.
How nice
Oh,
for
yeah, I'll
you.
come back to it, but at least I don't have to experience it for this weekend.
You're just putting your misery just down the line.
Oh, I'm I'm doing the inevitable and just brushing underneath the table. It's going to come back and bite me in the ass, but that's okay.
Yep.
Pretty much. It's usually the way it goes. But Ethan, what do you think of the Yellowstone?
Not as much action as I thought there'd be, but it was still 2 very good episodes.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming. Usually,
It's coming.
if
You
it
can tell.
follows the trends from the previous seasons, where
It'll build up.
one season ends with with a cliffhanger, the other one ends with not as much of a what's going on. We kind of have an idea of what's going on here.
Yeah.
John Dutton's the governor. There's going to be some wild political shit going on.
He has no idea about anything politics related.
No, well, and he's not doing it for the politics. He's doing it so he can keep his ranch.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, but he just doesn't understand that's not a thing. Like you actually have to be a politician.
Yeah, he's not a fan of that. Which, well, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, I guess. But I suppose we'll get into it. Michigan 34, Nebraska 3. Not a whole lot. Dominating run game by Michigan. Corum still at about 28 yards, 28 carries, 162 yards and a touchdown. Donovan Edwards looks like he got dinged up. I think that's why Corum had so many carries. I don't think going in they wanted to give him that many touches, but with Edwards getting dinged up, I think they weren't left much of a choice. But CJ Stokes stepped up. He had a really good game. He had a couple of nice runs. Eight rushes for 68 yards. Wasn't quite able to hit on that big pass that I was hoping for Michigan was going to be able to. Nebraska's credit, Michigan tried, but Nebraska had their receivers fairly well covered. Weather was a little bit iffy, and kind of just run the ball when you're running it as well as Michigan is. You don't really have to do a whole lot. And looking across the sideline, there wasn't a whole lot that Nebraska offense was going to do because Casey Thompson didn't play. Their offensive coordinator was knocked out of the game at the end of the first half after a collision on the sideline. So overall, Michigan got out of there with a win, healthy for the most part. Hopefully Schoonmaker and Edwards are going to be okay. Hopefully they can. I don't think hopefully shouldn't need them too much this week against Illinois, but get healthy because there's a fairly big game coming up in 2 weeks because it looks like Michigan and Ohio State are on quite the collision course.
The one thing I wonder is why would Corum, why would they feed him 28 times? Like just you're getting into the later part of the season, try to save his legs, continue to give Donovan Edwards more carries than your other backs there. Just Dylan, is this just a late Heisman push by Michigan here, trying to get Corum to New York, more touches, more yards, maybe more time into the end zone, that late season Heisman push here?
Well, like I said earlier, I don't think they wanted to. I think if Donovan Edwards doesn't get dinged up, I think he had did something to his hands, so they were thin at running back already. And Nebraska kind of hung around. It wasn't like Michigan was out of control of the game, but it just wasn't quite where there wasn't those big explosive plays that you would think would happen in a 34-3 game. It was more methodical, just move the sticks 10 yards at a time type of game. And Corum was out with about 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, it was just kind of the way the game played out. Nebraska's secondary played really well, didn't really give up a whole lot deep. It was a lot of short intermediate passes for McCarthy. And just sometimes that's just kind of how it ends up. They ended up probably giving him 28 carries. It didn't feel like it, but then you look at the stat line. I think he probably had 3/4 of his touches were in the first half. And they were able to get CJ Stokes some touches. They had another running back. He's a freshman. Had a couple of good runs as well. So, it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was, it wasn't planned. I don't think it was a Heisman push, but, yeah, sometimes it just kind of happens that way. And hopefully don't have to do that next week because I'd rather have him fresh because you probably are going to need him for 28 to 30 carries against Ohio State. Not probably. You will need him for 28 to 30 carries if you want to beat Ohio State.
Well, yeah, because I think if Michigan, if they have to throw the ball, if your leading rusher on the year doesn't, if he only has between 16 and 20 carries against Ohio State, that probably means you're down, and that means JJ's throwing the ball a lot. And that wasn't the recipe last year because what was it in the second half? They threw twice or 4 times.
It was like 4 times. Yeah.
And they just ran it down Ohio State's throat. So you want to do that again because, like you said, we're looking 2 weeks ahead out here. But if you have to throw the ball 30 to 35 times, that's not the ideal situation to put yourself in.
No. And, well, 34-3. They ended Nebraska's for the 5th straight year. 5th straight year. They won't be going to a bowl. They've got a lot to figure out. And
I don't think they've gone to a bowl game since they fired Bo Pelini.
16 they went. That would have been Tommy Armstrong's senior year. They started out like 6-0 because their non-conference was weak, and I think they either had like 1 loss or were undefeated going into Ohio State, and then they got the doors blown off them. And then after that, it was kind of downhill. I think they ended up like 8-4 or something. But
okay.
But yeah, since 2017, they are bowlless. And
that's so bad.
Who cares? It's Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean they're those people are just as irrelevant as Wisconsin anyway.
Exactly.
Like they eat corn the long way. So who really cares about them anyway?
This is true.
And we'll go over to Wisconsin's neighbor to the west, Minnesota 31, Northwestern 3. The Greek Rifle did start the game. He wasn't a over popping stat line. I think he was like 7 to 13 for 60-some yards. They were led by Mo Ibrahim again. Oh, Eagles just scored. Gross. 36 carries, 3 touchdowns, and Ethan, you nailed that game plan on the head there. That it was going to be a heavy Mo game.
Yeah, that unfortunately, I wish it wasn't. They didn't even really get Ethan a chance to even really get going on any level at all. It was just run, and then they'd pass when it was like 3rd and long or something like that. They barely threw first down passes. Like, I get Mo's your guy, but like, get your quarterback some opportunities to actually do something. Like, and I get you want to beat the shit out of him, like just wear him down, but it's not sustainable. It's not going to work. So what's the point of doing it if it's not going to benefit you in the long run? Plus, Mo had like 40 freaking carries again when you're up 24-3. Like, you're going to hurt the guy.
Well, and that's the one thing that I don't understand. If I'm Mo, I said this before the year, guys. If I was Mo, I'm telling Coach Fleck and this offensive staff, hey guys, I get we want to be a run heavy offense, but I'm not touching this rock more than 20 times a game because I have to look past this. Like last week we talked about, are they going to bench Tanner Morgan so they can look to see what they have next year? Well, Mo Ibrahim's got to realize that if he keeps these yards, these carries piling up all the time, no pro team's going to give him a shot because they're going to look at all the miles and the wear and tear that he has in his body. This is his 6th year. He's already got a torn Achilles. You add all this up, he might not much have a football future after this just because of the wear and tear he's taking on his body. And Ethan's point, it's ridiculous to give him the ball 38 times or 36 times when you're beating the doors off a team who hasn't won in this country and over a calendar year. It's unnecessary and it's not fair to him. Because he's not going to have a shot at the NFL because teams are going to look at him like this. Christ, the guy's had 1,000 carries at Minnesota. I mean,
Who knows?
He's there. There's no tread left on his tires, and I just think it's bad on the coaching staff, and I think Mo just needs to sit back and say, hey, I know you guys want to win this game, but I have a future to look out for, and I can't carry the ball 35 plus times a game every single week. It's eventually going to catch up to me, and it's going to catch up to me way too early in his football career.
Yeah, it's not the 1980s, 1990s, and I feel like Minnesota's got some reliable backs behind him. Not
well, unless they look at that and they say, Mo was out and the holes were there and these guys missed. So maybe they say, well, we Mo's our only guy we can trust.
Potts has gotten better, but he's still not like he was pre-injury versus, I want to say it was Colorado or Purdue last year, whatever game that was when he had that internal injury or whatever that shut him down for the year. He hasn't been the same since, but their true freshman looked good in his limited snaps. He had, I want to say it was like 40-some yards on 4 carries and a touchdown late in the game, but I don't think at this rate, I think you can't really burn his red shirt now.
Well, yeah, because it's already been past the 4 games, and he's already played probably more than that, right?
No, he's only played. This is his first game he's played.
Well, then, because
he has 2. He has 3 more then, but still, I guess he could play every single game moving forward and not burn it.
Yeah, so that's kind of the nice rule that the NCAA brought in that I like and I agree with, where these players, get in at least 4 games and still have that red shirt to play with.
Yeah. So I guess looking at it that way, it would make sense to get him going now because he's probably going to be the guy next year.
Yeah. But yeah, Ethan, your point, I think Potts got hurt last year in Purdue. It was that Purdue game. I remember, he had to stay West Lafayette Hotel for a couple of nights. Or a hospital, excuse me. Hospital.
Yeah, it was more than he had surgery and he was there for a couple of weeks.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah, I don't know. Something really, really bad happened inside. So I don't know. They still have yet to say.
Huh. Okay.
So.
Well,
they won.
They won. It's a win. Survive in advance at this point of the year. It's November. That's all you can ask for. And we'll go down to the FCS here. NDSU 21, SIU 18. In a game where Southern Illinois dominated the time of possession, 34 minutes to 26. It felt like for the first half, NDSU had the ball for, I think, a total of 8 minutes, it felt like.
Jeez.
And their best drive they had was their first drive of the game. It was a beautiful script by Tyler Roll, which was capped off by a wheel route to Kobe Johnson, which started off the scoring 7-0. SIU's got a field goal right before half. NDSU went 3 and out, I believe, to start the second half. Then SIU goes down and scores, takes the lead. And then NDSU had one of those vintage NDSU drives. 8 minutes, moved the ball, that capped off with a touchdown. Got to stop. Then they go down and score again. That point, it's 21-10. And on that drive, that was a huge drive because they converted 2 third and longs. I think they were both 3rd and 12s on some passes by Cam Miller that extended the drive and ended up to help cap off their drives with touchdowns. But big story of this game was they lost 2 guys. They lost their starting right tackle, Mason Miller, who broke his fibula. He's done for the year. And the big one is Hunter Lipke went out in the first half with a shoulder injury. Just looked like it was a normal play, and then all of a sudden you saw him running off. His shoulder was kind of slumped down, and he didn't play the rest of the half. He was in a sling after the game. He's probably doubtful for the game against UND this week, which is unfortunate because he's been the catalyst for the last two times they've played UND, where he just bulldozed them. bulldoze through the Fighting Hawk defense. So a win is a win, but a little bit of a costly win. But at this point of the year, it's survive and advance, and hopefully the Lipke injury is not as serious as we think. Hopefully this is not the last time we'll see him in a Bison uniform, because he's going to be needed down the stretch.
It's honestly surprising it's taken him this long to get hurt, considering how physical he is.
Well, he's been hurt. It's just he's been hurt like in the beginning of the year, middle of the year. And then NDSU, they've been really good about kind of limiting carries and limiting touches, because they just have such a stable of running backs where they can just consistently rotate. That way he is fresh come end of the year or big games when you need him. And yeah, now that this is the first time where it's like, this is a bad week to get hurt.
Yeah.
Bad time to get hurt.
What's North Dakota's record? Are they any good?
Yeah, they're 7-3. They'll make the playoffs. This is if UND wins this, they'll probably sneak in as one of the top 8 seeds, I think. Actually.
And is this the last week of the regular season?
It is. Yep.
At the FCS level?
Yep. The Grizz Cat game. That's where game day is going to be this week. That is Montana needs to win that to get into the playoffs, I think. And that game is in Bozeman, so they got their work cut out for them. Which that's like a bucket list game to go do. That looks like an awesome game to attend.
I'm sure Mike would go with you in a heartbeat.
I'm sure he would. He was supposed to join us. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, but we'll have him back next week. I think this might actually work out, because we'll talk FCS playoffs, and it's Thanksgiving next week, so we're going to talk food with us being the savages that we are.
Yeah.
So that was Montana State. Are they going to be a playoff team, Dylan?
Yeah, they only have one loss.
Oh, they got one loss. Okay.
They only have one loss, and it's to Oregon State.
Okay.
This is because Sacramento State pretty much has the Big Sky locked up.
Yep.
And that's one of the only teams and Sacramento State and Montana State did not play this year.
I was just going to ask how the hell that works.
They've got like 16 teams in the Big Sky. So
how do they decide who wins then?
Yeah, that's that.
Because it sounds like Montana State would have went undefeated then.
Well, if Montana State beats Montana, they would, but they have one loss on the year. Sacramento State's undefeated.
So even though it's out of the conference,
they would get. Yeah. I think they would get like co.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say that's a bunch of horse shit.
Yeah. No shit.
FCS team, you don't get the conference championship. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. So no. So if I'm in the Big Sky, was it the Big Sky?
Yep.
If I'm in that conference and that's the case, I'm done playing FBS.
Yeah, no way.
Hell with that.
Sorry, the thing though, it's FCS football. That's how that's a good money grab. You're not gonna not play. You're not gonna not take that money, though.
Man, so I gotta sacrifice a conference championship for my players.
They're not sacrificing a conference championship.
Well, but you get what I'm saying. They're not. No one's going to talk to them as conference champs. They're going to say they're co-champs, and people are going to say, "Well, Sacramento State was number one." So I got to sacrifice that title just so my program can get a bunch of money and survive. That sucks.
That's the nature of FCS football. It is what it is.
It's just also the nature of college sports. It's a nasty business. Well, any sport, any sport, any organization you run in this world.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I think I gotta look. Who does Sacramento State even play this week?
I'm gonna go Weber.
No, they already played Weber State.
I'll say Cal Poly.
UC Davis.
Oh, that was my next guess.
No, stop it. Stop it.
I was trying to even think of another team out there.
Do you guys know who you guys might know the coach of UC Davis, or you might have heard of him at least. He was
Is his name Joe Paterno?
It is not Joe Paterno.
Okay, I don't know.
He used to coach at Boise State and Colorado.
Harzen.
No, not not Brian Harsin.
He doesn't have a job.
He didn't know they scooped him up mid-season.
They heard the Auburn rumors and they said, "Come on over, coach."
Come on over, bud.
Former Colorado and Boise State coach.
Yep.
I only remember one Boise State coach in my life, and that was Chris Peterson.
He was the coach before Chris Peterson.
Yeah, I don't have a damn clue.
Yeah, no idea.
No,
I am not good at Boise State trivia.
nope. It was Dan Hawkins.
Yep, never heard of him.
No.
Dan Hawkins. Nope, never heard of him.
He's probably a peasant.
Yeah, he did not have had a good career at Boise State. Did not work out well at Colorado.
You guys got to remember this. Chris Peterson was Boise's coach when they beat Oklahoma, and that was, AP was on those teams. I mean, we're talking 16, 17 years ago.
That's
Those
crazy
are
to
probably
think.
his players.
Yeah,
Well,
they were. Yeah, that 06, because 06, that was when Boise State beat Oklahoma. That was Chris Peterson's first year. So yeah, all those guys were Dan Hawkins players.
Yeah, well, Peterson still had that thing rolling in Boise afterwards. So
Yeah. Yeah, just kept her moving. Like, we're gonna keep it moving on the podcast here. We'll wrap up our college week 11 preview with Iowa 24, Wisconsin 10. And Grant, you called another good game. Did you are you still feeding Brian Ferentz crumbs?
Yep. We're still feeding him
Okay.
crumbs. We kept the crust on the sandwich this week.
Oh, wow.
On the Wonder Bread. And since
Well, what if he doesn't like the crust?
well, then he's not eating.
Okay, well,
Sorry. Then he can pick the crust off himself.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not doing it for him. I'm not his mother.
Okay.
And his mother actually kicked him out of the state because he's doing such a shitty job.
So, well, what you're saying is so if he doesn't like the crust, this week you took the crust off for him?
No, he takes the crust off himself.
If he did previously, but since you guys won again this week, were you feeling generous that he doesn't like the crust? So this week you felt generous enough and you took the crust off for him? No, okay.
No.
I will a piece of cheese to go with his bread.
We will never forget the 7-3 win against South Dakota State where the defense outscored the offense. We will never forget that game.
Well, there's been multiple games I think the defense has outscored the offense.
Oh, I know, and I'd rather not say that.
Sorry,
I'm helping my mental state by only focusing on that one game. But yeah, and who knows? Maybe in the coming weeks we'll add a piece of cheese to this sandwich. But you remember, it's going to be the cheap Kraft single, and he's going to have to take the plastic off himself. I'm not doing that for him.
We're not even up to Crystal Farms yet.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, so you know what? It's not even Kraft cheese. It's your off-brand store, Target brand, Hy-Vee brand, Walmart fake cheese. It's the term "not good" comes to mind.
Honestly, just do non-dairy at this point.
You know what? Have you seen his bad haircut? He looks like he'd go non-dairy. He's some tofu, non-dairy, gluten-free, non-binary bitch.
Oh,
who shouldn't be coaching football, but you know what? When your daddy's the highest paid state employee for the state of Iowa, you can do whatever you want. But yeah, no, it's funny, Dylan, because like I said last week, the team whose quarterback can complete close to 60% of his passes are going to win the game. And then Petras finished 13-24, and I'm like, I'm going to check this out because I was thinking 57, 58.
That's 63.
It was 60 on the nose. And I was like, well, son of a gun, we'll take it. And then, Graham Mertz, the show about what could have been. He is just awful. He is terrible.
He's broken.
Oh yeah. He's been broken for about 12 years now. And I think Wisconsin should do him a favor and just dig him a grave and throw him in there because it's bad.
That whole Wisconsin program is bad.
Oh yeah, and it's crazy how fast they've fallen on hard times. But for Iowa's sake, again, you feel good. You're feeling better that they're turning the ship around, and they can gain some confidence here going towards the end of the year, and beating a team that they haven't beaten often. I mean, since 2015, this is only the third win against Wisconsin. Iowa has
it's opposite year. I said that from the beginning.
True.
Iowa beats Purdue. Iowa beat Wisconsin.
Iowa State beat Iowa.
Yep.
It's opposite year. And by that method, Ethan, then Iowa's going to lose to Minnesota this weekend.
Exactly. And Ohio State's going to beat Michigan.
Yeah, there's plenty. We'll discuss that at a later time. You never know. Ohio State's a good team.
But then also, with the one thing you love the most is this Iowa defense has got to be the best defense they've ever had. They're stopping the run. They're getting opportunistic sacks when they need to. The secondary's playing lights out. Cooper DeJean with another pick six on Saturday. The one thing that makes you feel good about this year is watching how good this defense has been. But then also the one thing that makes you upset about this year is how good this defense could have been if they had just a capable offense. I mean, they'd be getting a lot more national recognition than what they should get. And credit to this defense. They haven't quit on the season when the offense didn't give them an opportunity, and they lost some games that they probably should have won, but the offense let them down. But they didn't quit, and that they didn't quit on Saturday after that long third and long touchdown that they gave to Wisconsin, what looked like on a blown coverage. Well, that was the last points they gave up on the day. And they shut Braylon Allen down, which not a lot of teams can say they've done in the Big Ten this year. So it was fun to watch and to win a trophy. I was all for it.
Yeah, and it's shaken up that we have the Big Ten West has put themselves in quite the pretzel of scenarios of how many different teams could possibly be playing in Indy. I think right now it looks like Iowa is potentially in the driver's seat because they have the head-to-head over Purdue. So,
well, I think Illinois still has it.
Yeah,
because they have the win over Iowa. Dylan, Iowa, if they want to get in there, they need to win their next two, and they need Illinois to lose one. And if that one would be this Saturday against Michigan, because they're not going to lose to Northwestern.
I don't know. If you've seen the way Illinois is playing, you can't really rule anything out. But yes, I don't know.
I saw all four of Northwestern's quarterbacks play Saturday, and they are awful.
Yeah, and that Illinois defense was never as good as their numbers said they were, but they are going to absolutely feast on Northwestern. So for Iowa's sake to get in there, the Illinois loss is this weekend.
Yes.
I don't even know what the Gophers. I think they have to win out, and then I think Purdue has to lose again in order for them to.
I think yes, and then I think Illinois might have to lose.
Yeah,
one
I think Illinois and Purdue have to lose one.
Yeah, and they got to win.
Yeah.
And Purdue, I mean, God, they probably need to win out and have Iowa and Illinois lose.
Probably
something along those lines.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But, I mean, the winner of the Big Ten West just has the opportunity to get their ass kicked again by Michigan or Ohio State this year. So they got that going for them.
Mm-hmm.
Another opportunity to get embarrassed on national TV. Sounds good to me.
Ain't that the truth? And before we start previewing next week's college games, we'll go over to the NFL. And we'll just stay with a Wisconsin-based team, Packers 31, Cowboys 28. As you can see, Aaron Rodgers is my dad.
Yes, he is.
Cowboys, their season's done. It's over. They up 28-14. Said it was going to happen. Said they were going to blow it. Felt 28-14. Had a chance to go finish them off. But why would they do that? Just run the ball. Take time off the clock. Don't even let Aaron Rodgers have a shot to win the game or do anything. But no, let's throw the ball 46 freaking times. 46.
It's a good number.
Unbelievable.
Liddell Betts.
And 46, throw the ball 46 times. Stop running the ball. Have stupid ass penalties like you line up 5 yards in front of the line of scrimmage.
That was hilarious.
I don't know how that happens. I don't know if that's on the ref or if that's on the receiver or both. Or like, how do you not look over and like, oh, I'm way in front of the ball. I should probably move back, or the ref. Hey, move back.
He doesn't have to tell you that.
They do, especially as long as you put your arm out.
If you ask if you're good to go, then they'll just say this, but they have no responsibility to say, hey, buddy, you're offsides. Like, that's kind of your own fucking fault.
This is like junior high stuff. This is the first thing we teach junior high receivers. I would expect them, because I've dealt with enough of the on the line, off the line. Like, sometimes kids are scared of the officials for whatever reason. They're like, no, guys, they're there to help you. They will tell you to move up or move off, move back. That's what they're there for. But like, how does that even happen? I just don't understand it. And then the defense looked like one of those cheeseheads their stupid fan owners wear. Just holes in it. Just Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon just ran all over him. Aaron Rodgers didn't even beat us. He threw the ball 20 times. Something Dallas should be doing, but no, we paid Dak Prescott however many millions of dollars, and we have to pay him, and so we got to make sure he's useful. But no, let's turn the ball over once in the red zone, and another time that leads to a touchdown. It's just the same old song and dance. They have 2 weeks to prepare for this, and this is what they do. And I said all along, I can't believe I was starting to get my hopes up about this team, but Cowboys are going to Cowboys. Aaron Rodgers is still my dad. And you know what? I'm happy. I will say this. I'm happy for Christian Watson. He's had an up and down year. I was glad he finally had a good day. I just wish it would have happened against a different team.
Didn't you say a week ago the Packers were dead?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and my dad made sure that we knew that
you got some extra spankings.
That they were not dead.
Now, how many times this year is this now, Ethan, that Dylan has said the Cowboys season is over? Is this 3 or 4?
Well, they do suck, so I mean it makes sense.
Well, I'm just curious. Like, do the Cowboys have 9 lives? And they've only
Cowboys are not cats. They do not have 9 lives.
I'm starting to wonder, because after week 1, Dylan said the season's over. And then there was another point he said the season's over. It's trash. We suck.
Philly.
And then Philly. And then all of a sudden they start winning some games, and now the season's over again. So
Can we expect them to lose? The season's over.
Can we expect exactly? So can we expect them to come back to life, and then the season be over? And and next week on Thanksgiving, once they lose to the Giants, once they lose to the Vikings.
Yeah, we'll preview that later. But yes, their season is done. They maybe make the playoffs, but they'll lose. Won't matter.
Well, they'll lose in the first round. It's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Specialty.
You haven't. You'll never see them playing the conference title in your lifetime.
Not since I was 1.
Well, so you've never seen them play in a conference title game.
Not that I remember.
Yeah, because Dez dropped it.
Yes, he did. Yes,
he did. And then that's not even like part of it either. It was still like with 4.5 minutes left. That defense sucked. So they were gonna have to score again anyways, but they couldn't even get the ball back. So you know what? Whatever.
Well, and that's what kind of watching the game yesterday. If you're a Cowboys fan, you got to sit back and say this: where's our all-world defense? Where's the defensive player of the year candidate in Micah Parsons?
He was
He was
non-existent.
hurt.
I mean, did he take a second bye week?
Looked like it.
Did he even play in overtime?
No, didn't matter.
But yeah, because your coach is an idiot.
Yeah, pretty much. And I actually didn't even hate the decision to go for it on that 4th down in overtime. I figured they would.
Well, yeah, because at that point you're kind of in no man's land, and if you miss the field goal, you give it to Green Bay, 7 yards farther in the wrong direction.
Yep.
So why, like you said, why not try to go for it?
And 12 is how bad of a season he has. He's still 12. He'll still, if you give him a little bit of life, he's gonna find a way.
And he'll rip your heart out.
He did. And I think if that game was in Dallas, I think they do kick that field goal because it's on a turf, more reliable surface. But
and there's no
it was
wind.
at Lambeau, and there was no wind, and it would not be cold. But yeah, season's over. It was fun while it lasted. There's always next year. And
No, there's not.
we'll go to Kansas City, 27, Jags 17. Chiefs, actually, it was Chiefs and refs, 27, Jaguars 17. Chiefs never commit any penalties. Patrick Mahomes is the MVP, probably also my second dad. And the Chiefs, they are back at the top of the AFC. Grant, what do you have any takeaways from this Chiefs game?
Well, the big one, like what you said, is
The refs, the Chiefs refs 27, is that the big one?
well, no, because the game wasn't even on in this market, so I wasn't
Oh.
actually watch it.
It wasn't mine, actually. I was surprised.
Well, yeah, it was one of those weird things where the NFL, they do it where,
So did you have two afternoon games in?
yes, had the Vikings at noon, and then the Packers and Cowboys, but then at 3:05 they played the Colts and Raiders game here in Minneapolis, St. Paul. So wasn't even able to watch the Chiefs game. But the big thing, kind of like what we said, Dylan, to start the year. Who did we say was going to win the MVP? Because we trusted his coach, we trusted his wide receivers. They were going to get this thing going, and he was going to try to shut all the haters up. Patrick Mahomes with another 4 touchdowns yesterday. The dude just seems to be on a mission. And, Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen, that Jags front, they couldn't get to Mahomes. They couldn't slow him down. And he just went out there and tore him apart piece by piece, for 4 touchdowns on the day. And then another part that was really good to see on the stat line was this: 5 sacks by the Chiefs defense yesterday.
Dunlap got his 100th.
Yep, Dunlap got his 100th career sack. Chris Jones had a sack and a half. Willie Gay had another sack as a linebacker. Leo Chanel had his first sack in the NFL. So they were able to.
Fuck that Badger.
They were able to get after, Trevor Lawrence, and then in return, they got that early lead. So ETN didn't have the opportunity to run the ball because they were down and they had to throw it all the time. So, yeah, over these last couple of weeks, again, the pass rush is getting better. Mahomes is feeling more confident. Tooney had his first career NFL touchdown. I think he had, 6 catches for 50-some yards. So that trade is, looking nice where you can get him confident, get him moving with his skill set. And what the hell are the Commanders doing here? Okay. You trust him with Andy, calling plays, Travis doing his thing. MVS finally got in the end zone. It's just kind of this well-oiled Chiefs machine that you usually see in November. And to this day, I don't think Patrick Mahomes has lost a start in the month of November. It's the craziest stat I've seen. He's won like 23, 24 straight games in the month of November. It's just the Chiefs just don't lose in this month. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, again, so the big headlines, the defense had 5 sacks, and Mahomes just looks like he's on pace for the MVP right now. And when you're an opposing team, if you can't get to him and disrupt him, he's going to tear you apart, and this team's going to at least go for 4 touchdowns on the week, and you're probably not going to beat them.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
And then also, last week I mentioned, they pulled Derek Nottie and put, Kalen Saunders in, and that shut the Tennessee offense down. Well, Kalen Saunders played again yesterday, and he also had a sack for this defense. So they're finding the right guys, they're rotating them in, and they're getting more and more confident each week. And it's fun to see, and we'll talk about this later, but a big one coming up this Sunday night in Los Angeles. A win there, it almost puts this division on ice.
Yep. Well, and another weapon that is Kadarius Toney, who seems to be very reliable, seems to be just finding himself just fine in the Kansas City offense, which gives Pat Mahomes another weapon. And it looks like, and after, which is a tremendous segue, because we'll talk about the team they surpassed in the AFC, because they lost to the Minnesota Vikings in what was one of the craziest regular season games, I think, of my lifetime. I don't know of any other ones as crazy as that one, but Vikings seemed to be dead, and then Dalvin Cook re-energized them with like an 80-yard run, and they found a way to get back into the game, and they had a chance to go take the lead, was short on a QB sneak, and the first thing you ever teach anybody is the quarterback center exchange. Josh Allen fumbled it. Eric Hendricks recovers it in the end zone. Vikings go up. Make it 30-27. Did they miss that PAT?
He got that one.
Or he missed the one before
earlier.
Yeah.
He missed the one off the CJ Ham touchdown.
Yep, that's right. And then the Bills just go right down, tie the game.
Gabriel
30.
He did not catch that ball.
He did.
Not even close.
What'd the ref call?
There's actual video proof he didn't catch it.
Well, what the ref call though? They said it was a catch.
And then they came out and said it wasn't, so they knew they were wrong.
Yeah, and they came back and said Dez caught it too, a couple years later. But what the ref call in that moment? So you know what? Well, they also on the QB sneak, the Bills also had 12 guys on the field too.
I thought that was on Dalvin.
That was on Dalvin in overtime.
That was on Dalvin in overtime, I believe.
Yeah,
I thought it was the QB sneak.
It could have been both, but it was the Dalvin in overtime one for sure.
Okay. So maybe it was 2 then.
So literally, the Vikings beat 2 teams: the Zebras and the Bills.
Yeah.
Look at us defeating all these wild animals.
That's usually what teams have to do when they play the Chiefs, is they got to beat 2 teams, the Chiefs and the refs. But Kirk Cousins, I think we've all put him in the MVP discussion. I think league wide now, I think you have to have him in the MVP discussion after this game. And Justin Jefferson make the most incredible catch, which topped the Odell catch in my mind, with 2 guys draped on him. Somehow just takes the ball from 2 Buffalo defenders on a 4th and 18 to extend a drive. And man, this Vikings team just finds a way again and again and again. And nobody can say that their 8-1 is a fluke. They went into one of the NFL's toughest places to play and found a way to win.
Did you see the stat they said? This is the Bills' first time losing a home game since 1968, since being up 14 plus points.
No kidding.
Yeah, just stupid.
Well,
that's incredible.
The Sean McDermott decision to go for it and not get it instead of just kicking a field goal to go up 13. That's what gave the Vikings life. That gave them a shot.
But you said Kirk should be in the MVP discussion, which I think is fair. But honestly, I think J.K. should be in it more than Kirk.
I agree.
Yeah, that too. I was going to say, as I was saying that, I was like, man, Justin Jefferson probably should be put in that discussion as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was listening to K-Fan this morning, they had like such like a good like just examples, just like saying basically the Vikings, they just kind of glide, just just kind of roll with it first 3 quarters or so, and then they're like, oh yeah, fourth quarter, we have to go win. Like what? Like, and then they just hit a gear every single game that no one else can match. Like if they can do that 4 quarters, holy shit.
Well, yeah, and I was just before you said that, I was going to say the same thing. I was like, could you imagine if this team played the way they did in the fourth quarter through a whole game? I mean, we saw,
oh my God, it'd be insane.
For a half against Green Bay, at least for the offense's sake. But then, besides that, it's like, all right, well, we're just kind of putzing around here. Oh, wait, our back's up against the wall. Yeah, we better turn it on right now and do something.
Yeah.
Even just getting Dalvin, going, seeing him bust that 80-yarder yesterday. You wonder if, because then he had some confidence going the rest of that game in the fourth quarter and overtime, and how far and how much aggression he had going for it and how physical he was running. He felt good. So now if you get JJ doing his thing, Hawkinson taking over the middle of the field, and then Dalvin, the only team who might be able to stop this offense is this offense.
Well, like I heard a lot of national guys talking about how the Bills have such a good run defense when honestly they really don't. It's just they get up by so much so quick. You can't run the ball. Like that's literally what it is, which I guess is still, you could say, is part of the defense just because how good their offense is. But their run defense is not nearly as good as what people make it seem.
I mean, I've seen this Bills team since from 2020 to now, where there's been plenty of teams who have ran all over them. They ran up and down the field on these clowns, but they score so fast and they score in bunches, where, to your point, Ethan, it's like we have to totally abandon the run.
Yeah.
So those numbers look skewed, where it's like, hey, maybe they're not good. It's just people don't have the opportunity to. And, sure, they're only giving up 74 yards on the ground, but it's because other teams are throwing for 295.
Yeah. Call me crazy, but I don't think Buffalo should be the favorite in the AFC anymore until Allen starts taking care of the ball. The Dolphins should be the favorites right now. They are scary good.
Dolphins are good. I'm still not going to give up. I think I'd still have the Chiefs as the favorite. As
one of those two.
But yeah, the Dolphins are leading the AFC East right now. They're in the
Bills
place.
The Bills.
Yeah, and it all comes down to Josh Allen not taking care of the football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But even Buffalo, sure, they won that Green Bay game, but they haven't been the same since they played the Chiefs. It's almost like their whole offseason in the first beginning part of the season was getting that machine ready to go to play the Chiefs, and then they played the Chiefs and they beat them 24-20. And ever since then, it's been middle of the road at best.
Like the Packers ran all over them 2 weeks ago.
Ran all over them. Diggs just had a couple long plays.
And they had a touchdown get called back. That was a questionable pass interference call too.
Oh, yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And then
their offense has disappeared in the second half. It's almost non-existent because it was it 27-10 at halftime or 27
or it
like
was 24-10.
24.
Yeah, so they scored 6 points in the second half. I think I saw a stat that they didn't score a touchdown. They haven't scored a touchdown in the second half since the Kansas City game.
Yeah, and I think that touchdown was in the fourth. Well, Diggs had one in the third, and then Dawson Knox there, right before halftime. But to your point, they kind of come out hot, but after that, this Buffalo team, they can't adapt, and they just can't score in the fourth quarter.
I think that's also attributed to is they don't have a consistent run game.
Yeah,
you're legitimately right. They have not. I just looked. They have not scored a touchdown in the second half since the Chiefs game.
I mean, Yeah, so that you're not going to win games in this league when you can't score touchdowns in the second half, and you're not going to win games in your division. They still got to play the Patriots and that pesky Bills, that pesky Patriots defense twice, and they still got the Dolphins and the Jets.
They got to go to New York for the Jets. Into
They
Miami.
They got to play Cincinnati too, still, don't they?
And Cincinnati, yep.
So that is that's a team to keep an eye on, and the Patriots are in the right now the seventh seed in the playoffs too.
Yeah, so right now, like you said, it's crazy. There's 4 teams out of the AFC East in the playoffs.
Yeah, and well, it wouldn't have been possible until 2 years ago when they expanded the playoffs.
Was it 2 years? Oh yeah, 2020. That's right.
Yeah.
God, that'd be weird.
Yeah, because you're right now. I think I saw today the updated standings. Don't mean much, but the Bills are playing the Titans, and the Patriots will be playing the Dolphins.
Yep. So
Washington's about to go up on the Eagles right here.
I love it. Yeah, the time of possession for this one, it's like 20 to 5.
Well, I mean, they're
going to be closer. It's going to be like
they only
22
have one drive. The Eagles really. The other one was just off a strip sack.
Their first touchdown drive when it's only 20 yards.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how they scored so fast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sack and then they went in next play.
Sweat came around the edge and got to Heineke.
Oh, gotcha.
I hope they go naked bootleg with Heineke here. That'd be awesome, but it's not going to happen.
No. They are.
Oh, they'll get under the ball.
Shifty.
He's going to probably go under center, and they're going to push him in.
You're like a whole play ahead of me.
Yeah.
He's in.
Yeah. They did.
Yeah, he's in.
Yeah, there it is. Let's go.
Nice. Honestly, that Vikings win at Washington last week was a big win.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Washington right now, they're only a half game out of the playoffs.
They're a good team, and they're going to get Chase Young back soon. That's terrifying to think about.
And that's the scary part. And you got to wonder with Washington here, are they rolling with Heineke the rest of the year?
You have to. You have to. You just look at the way that team has played since they've gone to him. There's just more juice. There's more energy. There's more excitement. I also think part of it is that Dan Snyder's going to be selling the team. And it is, if Washington gets this, they go back to 5-5. So, I guess let's just stay in the NFL. Chiefs play the Chargers on Sunday night, like we said, on 6:20. That game was flexed. And big question is Justin Herbert going to have anybody to throw to?
Oh, he didn't last night.
He did not last night. After their first drive, they did nothing.
Yep.
And the Chargers are the Granite Chargers, and we are the boneheads of the year for actually thinking that the AFC West was going to be a beast, but in reality,
honestly, the Chargers were. I had no idea they were 5-3. I had not a goddamn clue until freaking last night.
I mean, they're still a feisty bunch, and going into the year, I had them as a 5 seed in the AFC just because I trust Justin Herbert that much to get a couple wins that they don't deserve to have, and he's done that so far this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not his fault that Rashawn Slater out for the year. Keenan Allen hasn't played week 1. Mike Williams is out with a sprained ankle. I think another one of their offensive linemen is out for the year. Corey Linsley didn't start the season. I mean, is it time to fire the medical team?
I was just going to say,
for the Chargers?
Their 6th straight year, I feel like they're like the most injury-prone team in the league. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah, it's them and the Niners. Every year they have 10 players on IR. It makes no sense.
No, none.
And then also not to mention Joey Bosa is out with that groin issue.
Like, do they go look at these kids like freaking doctor's notes from kids to see which ones got hurt the most? Like, it's insane how often their team gets hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it's just and they're the ultimate what could have been, or what could be in the NFL. Because in the J.C. Jackson, he was having a tough year as their free agent signing out of New England, and we all should have known that he probably wasn't going to be as good. Because when Bill Belichick lets a secondary player walk away, that's saying something. When the god of coaching D-backs says, no, I don't want you, go somewhere else and have them waste your money, we should know that he's not going to be that good. He's going to have a down year. But he's also out for the season now too.
Yep, and then they just cut Jerry Tillery. I
Yep.
feel like they had another guy get hurt last night on the defensive side of the ball.
Their nose tackle tore his pec.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
so that means he's done for the year. You ain't playing in that.
They had another guy leave with a bad with a knee issue, I want to say.
But like you brought up Tillery, Rappaport after they cut him was saying, yeah, there was a lot of trade interest in him. Like, why the fuck would you not trade him if you're going to cut him within 10 days? Like, what the hell? Like, I don't get that at all.
Well, and like what Dylan said earlier, the Chargers are going to Chargers. This is what they do. It's a dysfunctional franchise.
Just stupid.
And they have no fans. They're playing in a city where they have no fans. There's no identity. And the Chiefs, I expect their pass rush, they're going to get after Herbert. They're going to make things uncomfortable for him. He's going to have they're going to have to be able to run the ball effectively. Eckler might have to have 30 touches between catching and running the ball to even have a shot in this game. They need to get him more involved catching the ball out of the backfield. It feels like he just hasn't been as active lately. I think partially because he's been having to pass protect because their O-line can't block anybody.
Well, and what's crazy, Dylan, is this, as you mentioned, they need to get him going in the passing game. He still leads the team in receptions this year.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. He hasn't caught many passes these last 3 weeks, and he's still the number one pass catcher on the team.
Yeah. How many catches did he have last night?
I don't think Austin Eckler.
Let's see here. Chargers.
I bet you he had probably close to 8 or 9 at least.
Close. 7 for 39.
How many targets? 12?
Doesn't say. Yeah, actually, 12 targets. Good call. Nice.
That's almost as much as freaking JJ got.
And then he had 6 rushes for 24 yards. They only ran the ball 16 times.
Well, yeah, when half your line's dead.
Very true. And it wasn't like it was they were in it the whole time. They were leading for most of it.
They were winning.
Yeah, they were winning for most of it actually. And then who knows what happens if Herbert doesn't have to go out right before half. Maybe they get a touchdown there, but they had to bring in Chase Daniel
But and I do agree with that because he took a crazy shot to the head. I'm surprised they didn't call a flag.
They did.
They did. That's
they
right.
Did because the guy got ejected.
Which I don't agree with the ejection. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. This isn't called.
But it is the most predictable play in the NFL when a backup quarterback comes in. You run a screen.
You run a screen play.
Yep.
Every fucking time.
A screener every single time.
Because Mullins did that against Washington.
They know we're going to run the ball.
Because
get the fuck out.
Mullins did that against Washington, didn't he?
Probably.
I think. I feel like he did when he had to come in for that one play.
Probably. I'm telling you, it's the most predictable play. You just might as well fucking run it.
Or take a shot deep.
Yeah.
Do a play action bomb. Who cares? It's a fucking punt.
Yeah, just send it. But
stupid.
With this game, Dylan, you talked about that pass rush. What's nice for the Chiefs is Frank Clark's coming back after serving his 2-game suspension.
Steroids. I don't
No,
know. Yes.
No,
was it the weed?
No, it was his gun charges or
yeah, he had an unregistered Uzi in his car.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Smart man.
He got
genius.
pulled over for that.
Yeah, good job, boy.
So he'll be back, and then also, when they played in week 2, the Chiefs and Chargers, Bosa was there, and Mack was there, and the Chargers had a defensive front that got after Mahomes a little bit. Well, they don't have that anymore.
Mm-mm.
And the Chargers, they like to sit back and play that shell coverage. So if you keep Khalil Mack off your quarterback, it could be a long day for the Chargers because, the Chiefs know the coverages they're going to run. And Andy's going to be able to design plays to get guys open in those situations. And then, another thing I want to see is over the years, besides, last year in the overtime game that they played against the Chargers, Travis Kelce has not done a whole lot against the Chargers. I want to see if he can maybe break that mold and have a big night on Sunday night. Because, he's tied with Gronk for the most career 100-yard reception games, receiving yardage games as a tight end. So who knows? Maybe he can break that on national television on Sunday night there in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. And we'll go to the 225 game of the week. Cowboys, Vikings. Somehow the Cowboys are 1-point favorites
What?
in this game.
Oh, they are.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
How does the national media not believe in the Vikings still? My God.
Yeah.
I guess that's more Vegas, but
and
yikes.
like I said, this is the game the Vikings put it together. They figure it out. Cowboys are going to lose 62-6. Delvin Cook's going to run for 600 yards. He's going to break AP's record. Alexander Madison will run for another 75. Kirk Cousins will throw for 350. JJ will have 200 yards, Thielen 100, KJ 50. Sure.
Hawkinson 67.5.
Yep.
Would be nice.
Yep. How the fact that the Cowboys are 1-point favorites, I don't know. Bet your house on the Vikings. Go straight up Vikings. They're gonna blow the doors off the Cowboys. It's not gonna be close. Cowboys aren't gonna win a game the rest of the year. They're 6-3 right now. They're gonna go 6-11.
This is so sad.
You know what makes this even worse, Dylan? You know who just beat the Packers last week? The Detroit Lions. Just gonna pass that on.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. It was a fun run
They
while
made
it
Aaron Rodgers
lasted.
look like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Kurt or Kirk?
Kurt. That's bad Kurt. Kurt Cousins.
Isn't that Skip Bayless's name for him?
Yes.
I'm sure we're gonna get a Kurt Cousins. Just wait for that.
Well, also didn't Bruce Allen call him that too, like the former executive for at the time the Redskins? Didn't he always call him Kurt?
Well, he
Like
was
in the
Kurt on one of those fucking one of those interceptions. They're literally right to the fucking guy.
Well, and Michael Lombardi called Bruce Allen the punter, so I think Bruce Allen got his feelings hurt, so he had to call somebody a name. So I think he just chose Kirk Cousins.
Oh, that's
Kurt. So, but yeah, who knows? Maybe Zeke plays. Not gonna matter if he does. But yeah, Cowboys.
I think they're better without him. So for your sake, I hope he doesn't.
Yeah, then they have to throw. They're gonna throw the ball with Dak 46 times and
48 because they're gonna be down by 50.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll have 5 interceptions.
Damn, Washington just drilled a 58-yard friggin' bomb right before half.
Love to see it.
Here's my
The
question.
Redskins are rolling tonight, boys.
Here's my question on Sunday. How many double moves do the Vikings try to pull on Trayvon Diggs?
Oh my God, every play.
All of them.
Seriously, you could run a double move on him every single play, and he's going to undercut that, jump that thing every single
I
play.
could do a double move and score on that guy.
I think you could.
Yeah, I could.
As long as the quarterback gives you a good enough pump fake,
Yeah,
where he thinks you're going short. Oh yeah, you could put 6 up on Diggs.
easy.
No, but in all seriousness here, do you think just because the Vikings offensive line has been a little shady, they think Dallas might have an advantage there, and that's why they're 1-point favorites?
Honestly, I thought they played really goddamn good yesterday and gave Kirk a lot of time.
So then I'll go back to that Washington game. Do you think are they thinking that, or what?
I think they just think that they're going to get the most money based on that.
Well, maybe actually what it is I think Vegas is feeling generous because everything is sky high grocery prices, gas prices, everything. Thanksgiving's coming up. They want to give back to the people, give them some money back. So they're gonna put the line at -1. So the Cowboys, so people will bet the house on the Vikings, and they can make a bunch of money. So they have money to feed their family for Thanksgiving. That's what this is all about.
Oh, so Vegas is sitting back looking at it like this, like, hey, we've made our money over these years. We've made our billions. Let's return this into the people who helped us get the fame and fortune we have now.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
I think also some of it's not, I wouldn't say a prime time game, but like it's the bigger slot for Sunday outside of Sunday Night Football. And Kirk Cousins sucks in these games, supposedly.
So we get
But,
Kirk Cousins.
No, Kirk Cousins sucks in these games. Kirk Cousins has been really good this year, but people still think his name is Kurt because they haven't watched him play this year.
That's fair.
Kirk O'Chains.
Dude,
But
he
yeah.
has a six-pack. Like, Kirk Cousins is pretty fucking yoked. These people don't know about.
He's in the NFL. That shouldn't surprise us.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I don't think Big Ben ever had one. Are we sure Kirk didn't get in on that QB sneak, though?
I'm sure he didn't get in.
I'm quite, just watching it from here, I'm quite confident he got in.
Yeah, with the ref call.
After his knee was down.
I mean, it doesn't matter. We win, so. And Josh Allen's still a little bitch.
He can give off very bitchy vibes.
Yeah. Do you think freaking what's his nuts? Diggs just went off in the locker room about it? Just cried.
Sounds
and
like
beat people up.
Sounds like he was pretty upset at the walking off the field. I think I saw something like that.
Okay.
And then let's I guess let's go back to the college ranks, because Michigan plays Illinois. Michigan's a 18-point favorite the last I looked here. They played Illinois at 10 Mountain Time on ABC. So put them away early, get in, get out, make sure everybody's healthy, because the big one is next week. And that's really all I have for that game. Get in, get healthy, and focus on Ohio State.
Chase Brown's gonna run for 400 yards.
Keep him in check. That's what I worry about is that.
Has Michigan given up 400 yards rushing on the year? I mean, I'm sure they have, but it's just like that would be just incredible.
Let's see here. I'm not going to do the math here. This is great audio here. Let's see. I could get they've given up 72 rush yards a game on average.
All right, so 10 games, so 720 on the year.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Dylan, you're right. They should come in, dominate, end this thing at halftime, because Illinois does not have an offense. And the Michigan, like I said last week, the Michigan defense is better than the Iowa defense. They have better players. They're more athletic. And Illinois only scored 9 points against Iowa. I get it. The starting quarterback was out. DeVito was out, but they shouldn't be able to do anything. This should be a pretty easy game for Michigan, as long as their headspace is right and they're not looking forward to the game. As long as they're focused on this game, they come in with that workman's type attitude. They should be able to beat Illinois pretty easy and not have to worry about a whole lot. But they can't spot them an easy score or an early touchdown like that, because then if this Illinois defense can get a little confidence going and they feel like they can shut this Michigan offense down, then you have a game that's a game when it's unnecessary. So come in, have your mind right, know that we're going to dominate today. We're not looking forward to next week. And good things will come, because they're a better team. They're a better team than Illinois. And like you said, they should easily cover that 18.5. Excuse me, I think in the first half.
Yeah.
Be focused on this week. Don't look ahead and good things will happen. And I think with Harbaugh being an NFL head coach, he knows that better than anyone else. Because, in the NFL, you have big games week after week after week. Sure, it's not Michigan, Ohio State big games, but you have big games. And those Niners teams always showed up to play, and they never looked like they were looking ahead to someone else. So with this coaching staff and with Harbaugh calling the reins, I feel confident we'll be able to focus on this game, shut Chase Brown down, and, win this thing pretty easily.
Yes. Let's hope that happens. And I've got to ask you, Grant, because this game is right up your alley. And it is Battle Los Angeles, USC, UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Grant, who are you cheering for in this game, and why? I know this is probably your two favorite teams outside of Iowa, and I'm just curious. This is a big game for you. Who are, because you seem to alternate every year for who you are cheering for. Is it, are you going to be fighting on for USC this year with Lincoln Riley, or are you going with the Bruins, who came off a Arizona loss?
They lost to Arizona.
They lost to Arizona. Yeah.
They lost that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, so they've kind of fallen on hard times in this last month. They've lost to Oregon and Arizona, which is, wait for it, folks, not good. But if you're making me cheer for one team in this game, I'm going to cheer for the Bruins.
Okay.
Because I don't disdain them and their fans the way I absolutely disdain.
Does UCLA have fans though? Like, I don't think I've ever. I don't think I've ever met a UCLA fan. I legit don't think I know a single person who is a fan of the Bruins.
Well, and now the fact that college basketball has started again is not good for their football program, because people are going to be at the pavilion watching the basketball game instead of caring about the football team. But yeah, if you're making me choose a team to root for in this game, I will be cheering on the UCLA Bruins. Because like I said, the amount of hatred and disdain that I have for those arrogant bastards, that is the University of Southern California, will forever be probably the thing I hate the most in life.
Wow. More than Notre Dame?
Yeah, more than Notre Dame. But, whenever USC and Notre Dame play, it's awful. I can't watch that game because I just know one of those teams is going to go home as a winner, and it sucks. It sucks. I can't stand both of those teams. They talk about how great they are and my 7 Heisman Trophy winners and blah, 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 blah. Well, what have you done for me recently, assholes? Not a whole lot.
Hey, Notre Dame's the college football playoff multiple times.
Yeah, and they've gotten their ass kicked every single time they've been in there.
They played Clemson better than anyone else.
Okay, Mr. Ethan, I'm going to give out participation trophies now.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
they played better than Bama.
Christ. Well, yeah, they did that year, but they still lost like 31-7.
Hey, it was close.
It was close. You're so ridiculous right now. But I will say this. I know I'm looking ahead to next week. If USC wins this Saturday and Notre Dame plays them next week, before the end of the regular season, big Irish fan. Because then if USC has 2 losses, they're done. Put a fork in them. The Greeks came in and destroyed the Romans again. We've seen this before, and we'll see it again.
He went there.
But yeah, no, I can't stand USC. They're just a bunch of smug, arrogant bastards, assholes, and they live in California, and that place is a shithole. So for this week, go Bruins. But besides that, screw them. California sucks.
All right, there you have it. And we'll go over to another rivalry game. We got the Floyd of Rosedale, which I don't know if you guys were on Facebook today, but it was the 7-year anniversary of the game we went to at Kinnick. There, which was a fun day.
Grapple on the gridiron.
The grapple on the gridiron.
Yep.
was it was a day I barely remember, but I'll definitely never forget.
I took a nap in the Trailblazer.
Yeah,
You
that's
did.
right. Yeah, Ethan was tired, needed to take a nap in the old back of the Trailblazer. We're tailgating. We're handing out hot dogs to anyone who walked by left and right. Hey, dude, you want a hot dog? Come get this. I'm pretty sure we almost burned the car down a couple of times.
We hung out with
Really?
David
Well,
Johnson's
Yeah,
elementary
yeah,
school
that's
teacher.
right.
David Johnson's elementary school teacher. That's right.
Actually, Grant Connor almost burned the Blazer down.
Yeah, Connor
It was
almost
not
burned the
any of us because, well, I had a few too many alcohols to where I didn't want to get near it because I didn't want to be responsible for that. And the responsible person I am, I know my limits, so I just stayed away. And I knew what my role was, and that was to drink beer. And I did a very good job of it that day.
Yes, you did.
And there's no way I could do that anymore.
And
That
then,
was
yeah,
the day I saw an Iowa fan shit all over his overalls and then put them on like nothing happened.
I don't remember that.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah, I remember you.
Literally walks out of the stall and just whips it up. There's just shit everywhere. I'm just like, yeah, like
This football.
too much corn.
And then, yeah, I remember just going into the stadium, and then, Connor drunkenly going up to the state trooper. Yeah, go Hawks, asking for a high five. And it's like, all right, we're going to get away from this guy because they're going to kick him out of the stadium real quick.
I just kept walking on that one.
And then remember,
that's Connor's problem.
and remember, there was this one guy who was trying to act all tough and trying to pick a fight with the Minnesota fans standing behind us. And this one guy, this bystander goes, "Hey, dude, be quiet. Iowa State PD. I'll have your ass arrested. I know these people." Who was show me your badge, jackass? And the guy pulls his badge out. State Trooper 748. Look at the dude's face was like, oh my god.
The rest of the game.
Those guys were funny because when they realized Minnesota wasn't gonna win, they just start, "We hate Wisconsin. We hate Wisconsin."
Well, I actually think I started that because I turned around and they were like, "Hey, fuck you," and I was like, "Hey, we can agree on one thing, guys." They're like, "What's that?" We all hate Wisconsin here.
And I got a picture with Elvis, with Hawkeye Elvis.
That's right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, and then also, that was the same day where the Minnesota fans behind us were saying, I think it was a 10.5-point spread. They're like, good teams win, but great teams cover.
No, it was cover the spread.
Oh, that's what it was.
Cover the spread. Cover the spread, which they did. It was 40-35.
Way ahead of their time. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I would score a touchdown to make it 40-28. But then, the Gophers, they went down and they got that touchdown to cover that spread there. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah. Overall.
Mitch Leidner classic.
Yeah.
Kind of like Teddy Bridgewater. You're not going to win a whole lot of games, but you're going to have a winning record against the spread.
You're going to cover the spread.
You're going to win a lot of people a lot of money.
Be a good person to have too if you're for duck hunting practice too.
Yes, you would.
But Mitch Leidner is not playing in this game, and it is 2 o'clock.
That is actually maybe Tanner Morgan.
Oh yeah, that's true. His dad does not have any hair, and game is at 2 o'clock Mountain on Fox. I believe I saw the spread or the total is 32.5.
That's pretty fucking
game.
high.
And let's see here, Minnesota is actually 2.5-point favorites. Minnesota's looking for their first win in this rivalry since 2014, which Grant has a bunch of great memories about, I'm sure.
Oh,
that
game.
Max Williams toe drag swag game where they beat
out.
Like,
the Max Williams toe drag.
He got to see it in person, Ethan.
And then let's not forget, Iowa scored a touchdown on their first drive. They went down the field and they were up 7-0. And then the cheering stopped after that.
Let's hope Saturday's similar.
Minnesota proceeded to go on a 51-7 run. And then the most iconic part I remember from that game, it was Veterans Day weekend. The logo at midfield, I think, was the Stars and Stripes. Minnesota's helmets on the side, were the Stars and Stripes, and they gave every single fan at the game, a little American flag to hold. And I'm there with my parents, and I was down 51-7, and I say something to my dad, and he looks over with just this defeated look on his face, and he just waves. He just waves his flag, and you hear the saddest, just most depressed, "Go Hawks," and you're like,
"Oh, Daryl."
And also it was like 15 degrees outside. There was a crazy wind. I
Were you on the protected side?
So no, yeah, we were on the protected side.
Okay,
So we at least had
the open side. Okay.
Yeah, we were on the protected side. Yeah, we were on, Minnesota bench right by the tunnel where the Gophers come out. So on the protected side, but still cold. The wind was swirling that day. And I think on the way home, it took me like an hour to warm up. My hands were froze. I couldn't move my fingers. That was just a cold, bad day.
And then you got to go home and you got to watch Michigan Northwestern.
Yeah, but then also, if you remember, the most iconic line in our friendship, guys, was Texas A&M Auburn. And I believe the Auburn was in the shotgun, but the center thought he was under center. So he snapped it and it hit his ass. And then the Texas A&M player picks it up. And I go, if he would have just put the fork down.
That's right. Put the fork down. That's going to be your autobiography if you ever write a book. I think it has to be.
Put the fork down.
Too good.
But let's get back to the game. Minnesota's 2.5-point favorites. Not sure who's gonna be playing quarterback for the Gophers, whether it's the Greek Rifle or Tanner Morgan.
Like, in all seriousness,
this game is going to be similar to the Wisconsin game. I think it's going to come down to which quarterback plays the better, which one doesn't give it to the other team.
Yeah, pretty much. That sums it up.
Well, and which offense has a percentage on third down over 30%?
Yep.
Because there was a couple drives late in that Wisconsin game where Iowa was able to convert a 3rd and 7 and then a 3rd and 5. And on those drives, they converted those third downs. Guess what? They scored touchdowns. So it's going to come down to third down offense in this game. And can Iowa or Minnesota win on third down?
Who can get not like second, third, and long? Who can get those 3-4 yards?
Stay ahead of the sticks. Stay ahead of the sticks.
Because neither one of these quarterbacks are going to sit back there and thrive on 3rd and 10. Let's be real.
And let's call a spade a spade. If Minnesota has a nice run play, or if Iowa has a nice run play on first down, and it's called back because of offensive holding, for the most part, this drive is over.
Just punt it right then and there. Just fuck it.
Exactly. And like what we talked about,
you can't turn it over that way.
Yeah, just do what Urban Meyer said. You have to get 2 first downs, maybe 3, and if you have to punt and make Iowa or Minnesota go 85 yards, as a defense, you have to feel confident because you have the 4th and the 5th best scoring defense in the country in terms of points per game going up right now against each other. They're flying around the ball. They're playing fast. If you're going to want to score, there's going to be a lot of, I think, 10 to 12 play drives. It's going to be just slow and methodical. And you know what? If I'm Iowa or if I'm Minnesota and I say this offense has to go 85 yards to score, I'm feeling good about myself. But and then in return, eventually that field position game is going to help you win.
Yeah, I couldn't find the total for punts between the two. And it looks like it's going to be a cold one because it looks like it is as of now, looking at the Minneapolis weather, it looks like it's a high of 19, a low of 9. Don't know what the wind is going to be, but that also is going to play a factor there too, especially if it's a northwest wind, because that northwest wind is cold.
Oh, it's cold.
Yeah.
And that game is at Huntington Bank Stadium.
It is.
Hey, you got it right. 2 weeks in a row.
Wow.
2 weeks in a row.
Wow. Give yourself the clappy thing. Go.
On your soundboard. Woohoo.
Yeah, I was trying to find it.
Oh.
What are we doing?
Now it ruined the moment. Give yourself the boo instead.
I haven't used it in a while. So,
but then So,
Took a little
guys, you
bit.
got to think in the second half of this game, it's going to be dark outside. So it's really going
It's
to be
gonna be fucking cold.
So, the team who has the lead at halftime, they might just hold on to this thing because these elements are going to play such a role in the second half of this game.
It's gonna be cold.
Yep. You guys aren't going?
No, absolutely not.
No?
One, it's cold as shit. Two, I might see maybe 5 plays over 5 yards if I'm lucky. And 3, it costs money, and I'm not gonna go pay to see shit.
Fair enough.
I respect that. And, Dylan, I'm not going because I'm actually going to be in Bedlam this weekend.
That's right. You are.
That seems a lot better.
That
Yeah,
seems to be a lot better.
That is. I curious to see what's going to happen there. I suppose since you know what you're going, that game is in at Gaylord Memorial, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay.
Is that Oklahoma's field?
Yep.
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 It's in Norman.
And where are your seats at?
In the stadium.
That
Thank
is
you.
correct.
Yeah.
We're in the stadium, Oklahoma sideline. I want to say 30-yard line, but
Okay.
part of the second, like that second deck, it's a higher stadium.
Yep.
But even then, we're talking for those $180 just to get into the stadium. For this game, and I, like Ethan, I wasn't interested in paying $300, $400 a ticket to get on that first level.
It's like me for the Vikings game on Thanksgiving. Fuck.
Yeah. But we're not like way up high. We're like, I think in the first like 10 rows on that upper section there.
We were at US Bank when we went at the Vikings game I was at.
Yeah.
We were 3 rows from the top.
Yes. Or no, not quite that high.
Okay.
But I'm excited for this game because it's a night game. Memorial Stadium, Oklahoma. It's one of the most historic programs in college football. And then Oklahoma, they're having a bad year. They're 5-5. Venables his first season. They start off hot 3-0, but eventually losing all those players in transfer portal, I think, caught up to them. And then Dylan Gabriel's been hurt. He hasn't been consistent all year, but they're leaving for the SEC in 2 years. And there's going to be some bad blood and some animosity between these teams because Mike Gundy has said we need to cancel this game. It's not worth playing anymore. Oklahoma chased the money. And Brent Venables is sitting back like, dude, why are you screaming at me? I didn't do anything. I was hired in December when they already said they were moving the SEC. And this is all the athletic directors and the board of regents doing this. So, and Oklahoma State, they still have a shot at playing for a Big 12 title game. They need a couple things to go their way. So there's going to be some animosity in this thing. There's going to be some bad blood. It's going to be chippy. The fans in that state do not like each other. I mean, it's called Bedlam for a reason. And then also Oklahoma State, they beat Oklahoma last year. And in this
game, Oklahoma State sent Lincoln Riley to USC.
Riley to USC. Exactly. And and this rivalry, you don't call it much of a rivalry because I think Oklahoma State's only won like 12 times. But, these teams, they don't like each other because you have a lot of the kids who went to high school together. They're familiar with each other. If the state's split 50-50, I mean, shoot, I'm excited to go down there and check it out because, like you said, it's one of the most historic programs in college football. And to be able to see this in person at night, it's going to be dark out. It's going to be electric. And I can't wait to see what 85,000 Sooner fans look like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's going to be crazy because, well, like you said, Oklahoma has a chance to crush Oklahoma State's shot at a Big 12 title.
Mm-hmm.
They win this, they'll be playing for a bowl game.
Yep.
They'll be bowl eligible. And Oklahoma State can leave a sour taste because if they don't play again for a long time, well, I guess they have next year too, but still, the last time that game is they're going to be they'll play in that stadium for who knows how long. And that one on a right note. Yeah, exactly. And then next year Oklahoma will have a chance to do the same thing. And oh no, Washington didn't quite score yet, but I'm excited for you. I'm excited to hear back report back on what the stadium was like, the atmosphere. Maybe is there talk you'll be able to go kind of take in the campus at all and go kind of look around, see if you can go check out the facilities or anything like that?
Well, I think we're planning on getting to Norman early. We
Okay.
open parking lots down, so and my parents even said they want to go down and they want to check out the campus. They want to check the stadium out, see if they have a little shop with all the Heisman trophies in glass. Check out the facilities and just the university itself. Because like I said, this is historic and it's kind of a big deal. And I'm excited to check this out. And for a big rivalry game like this, there's going to be energy. And it's going to be electric. So yeah, we're gonna get there early and just try to take it all in. Walk around the stadium, maybe go to campus, try to see anything and everything we can. Before 6:30, and it's kickoff time and it's time to play a football game.
All right. Well, so assignment for you is similar to what you did with the Trop. We want a full report, full grade of the stadium
Yep.
when our next episode. So, and we'll
And I can make one guarantee. This will be better than the Trop.
Fair.
That is my guarantee for the week.
better than the Trop. We're gonna hold you to that.
Yep.
And before we get the curveball of the week, we have to discuss the game of the week in the FCS. It's rivalry week, boys. It's NDSU versus UND, 1:30 ESPN Plus, and then WDAY if you're in the state of North Dakota. This is actually the first time that these two are playing to end the season since 1996. And this is a UND team that is playing. If they get a win, like I said earlier, they'll probably get in as one of those last seeds, 7-8 seeds. NDSU, I think that puts them in as a 4 and at worst a 5 seed. And depending on what happens, I possibly move up. I don't foresee that happening, but that would put them in the opposite probably. As long as Sacramento State wins, I would put them opposite of South Dakota State, which could potentially set up a collision course in Frisco between NDSU and SDSU. But we got to take care of those guys up north. Bison, like I said, injuries. Mason Miller is going to be out with a fractured fibula. Hunter Lipke is doubtful. And UND, they're a very well-coached team. They haven't beat themselves this year. Tommy Schuster, the quarterback's been having a really good year. He's actually set to basically break all the quarterback records at UND. Their special teams has been very good. They've blocked a couple of kicks, had a couple of returns. So NDSU's got to make sure their special teams is on point. And I would expect on the defensive side, they do have some holes, and when they give up points, it seems to be in bunches. If you look at the SDSU game, the Southern Illinois game, where they've just given up points and it's just been consecutive. I think for the game plan for UND, I think I would expect them to stack the box, make Cam Miller try to beat them. So guys like Braylon Henderson, Zach Mathis, DJ Hart, they're going to have to continue to build off their strong seasons where they've been coming on. They're going to be used a lot more where they haven't been asked to do a whole lot the last couple of games because I think of the way the weather was where it was just terrible, like cold, windy, ugly weather down in both games were in Illinois, and this one will be in a controlled environment. NDSU, they got to be able to run the ball. I think Cam Miller has to be effective off of play action, hit some shots early, go after them, jump on them early, make UND throw, because in these games previous with Tommy Schuster, he has been known to turn the ball over in crucial moments. And NDSU just got to take care of business. Put UND in their place, making sure they understand that they are the inferior opponent and inferior football team, school, university in all facets in North Dakota, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but you go to the bathroom in Grand Forks and you take a drink out of a water fountain in Grand Forks, it's actually the same water.
You know, I was told that once.
Yep, it's true. And UND, we don't even know what their nickname is. Everybody says it's the Sioux, but it's more of a
I see a
bird
dove,
postman type
I see
thing. Yeah,
dove on their helmets. I mean, are they sending love letters in the 1700s?
yeah. And you also can't spell underachieve without UND.
Now these are facts.
So
See what you did there.
You're
Yeah.
you're spitting facts here, my friend.
Yep. And like I said, it's UND hate week, and scrolling on TikTok, their TikTok feed showed up. I reported them for false information because they were claiming that you can go to it's a college, you can get a college diploma, but it's a high school and it's a high school diploma. The people who go there, they don't have a college diploma. They just have 2 high school diplomas.
And actually a second high school diploma that's worse than the first one somehow.
There exactly. I don't understand it.
I mean, what do they major in? Binge drinking and watching hockey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
an underachieving hockey team
Underachieving hockey team, yes.
who they win a lot of regular season games and then they shit the bed in their playoffs. It's almost like they're on the they're like a Minnesota school, and they come from the state of Minnesota, and it's like one of the few things that Minnesota hockey or Minnesota is better than North Dakota. It's Minnesota's got a better hockey team than UND.
Which is something you never thought you would say 5 years ago.
You never know. It's crazy. It's UND hate week. I might just keep posting more jokes as the week rolls along. So I don't think I have any other ones right now, but
Well,
stay tuned for them.
this is jokes or games or both.
Both, yeah. So Ethan, we'll kick it over to you for Curveball of the week.
Well, I hinted it would be another classic by me. Another marry, fuck, kill, because it's the only way to do it. So we are going to do marry, fuck, kill with 3 types of potatoes. You can choose your potatoes, but that's what we're doing.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All kinds of different types of potatoes.
No, how about you pick 3? Because there's
You
too
got to
many,
pick your own 3.
I think that if we narrow it down to 3, though, I think we'll get a better discussion.
I don't think so.
That way you keep it within even.
If you're gonna be that way,
No. This is Ethan's question. To hell with you,
All
Dylan.
right.
I like
Okay.
I like to
All
see
right,
how
fair
different
enough.
we can be.
Fair enough.
So,
Okay.
I'll go. I've been thinking about this. I can go. So I'm killing sweet potatoes. I think they are the ass of the earth. They're basically just shit like tomatoes, and they're just terrible. Like I don't see why anyone eats them, but they're terrible. So kill them multiple
Now,
times.
can I ask you, sweet potato fries? Are you smashing those
Oh,
or not?
trash. Throw them out too.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes I've had them and they're really good, and sometimes it's like this is just it's a cold mess of blah.
No,
So
anything sweet potato is basically dog shit.
is it white dog shit? And then someone's gonna.
Oh yeah, rough, dry, falls apart in your hand. Yeah, definitely.
Ethan,
Yeah.
a master of handling white dog shit.
I just watched
He is.
Step Brothers once, and that just showed me it's nice and dry, and yeah. I am going to let's see. I'm gonna fuck potato chips. Hard.
Oh, like you're fucking a bag of Lay's?
Oh yeah. Or just any potato chip in general. Like they're all potato chips.
That is
Even
true.
if they're flavored. Like how many times have we started to grill and we haven't even put our fucking food on the grill and the bag of chips is fucking gone.
Every
Every
time.
time.
Every fucking time. Oh, those either garlic parmesan or jalapeno cheddar. I mean, it's done. It's over. We're gonna have 7,000 grams of salt.
Also, if Ethan ever gets married someday, the gift I'm gonna give him is a lifelong supply of Ruffles sour cream and cheddar chips.
Oh,
you dirty
yeah.
dog. Yes, that gets me hard.
God,
Oh man, they're so good. And then this one was hard. This one was very hard, but I am marrying mashed potatoes. Just the classic solid side at every holiday. You just can't beat it.
Kind of like what I said last week, the last Mary Fuck Kill for the waffles, pancakes, and French toast.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what I married because I'm going to get destroyed by you two. But remember what I said? It's simple. It gets the job done every time. It might seem a little boring, but hey, guess what? That's what marriage is. And Ethan just reaffirmed that point right there with the mashed potatoes. And I thank you for that, sir.
Yeah, I'm always here for good civil duty.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll go next. I'm killing grits because that's a Southern thing.
True.
I've had them a couple of times. They just don't do anything for me. Grits.
It's like shitty oatmeal.
Yeah, well, and that's what I had for breakfast this morning is oatmeal.
Shitty oatmeal?
Yeah, I was gonna say, hopefully it wasn't shitty oatmeal.
It was the Quaker Oats and the classic Quaker Oats and that was that was it. I didn't have anything else at my house. I didn't have any fruit or anything.
Oatmeal? Just
No.
oats.
Yep.
That's shitty oatmeal.
No, I didn't think it was too bad. It was a good breakfast, good fuel for the day.
Right.
And back to potatoes. I suppose I will fuck with the baked potato.
Oh
I think it's good every once in a while. It's not
open.
something you can have every meal, but you're having like some ribs or a steak. A good baked potato goes nice with it, with all the fixings: butter, sour cream, salt and pepper, sometimes cheese.
A little
bacon.
chive?
Yep, a little bit of chive.
A little chive on top, a little bacon bits?
Yep. Can't go wrong with the baked potato from every once in a while. Marion, French fries. Just the classic. They're very hard to screw up. Put them in an air fryer. You oven fry them. You bake them. I guess oven.
I've never oven fried anything, but sure.
Or broil.
It's a good choice.
But yeah, and I mean, you can buy them in a bag. You can get your own potatoes and then make.
You can go to McDonald's.
Yeah, you can go to McDonald's, which.
Oh God.
I don't know if you guys saw, but I did retry the McRib, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be the last time because I got some.
It's still not good. It's still not good though.
It's all right. I rated it as a 6.3.
It's not even pork. God knows what the fuck it is.
Yeah. Well, you know what? What I want to do is I want to make one myself, and that'll be the true test. Is because I have
that's actual real pork. What you're eating is, I legitimately don't even know if there's pork in it.
Well, it's probably something like pork ears.
Yeah, it's just awful.
Or
stuff.
just something you should be feeding to your fucking dog.
A bunch of shit that you press into an espresso and it turns into a fucking shitty ass rib.
Correct.
But no, I actually have like a half a rack of a rib at my house that Scott gave me. And he's like, I know you like ribs, so here's a half a rack. It's like 4 ribs. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it, but I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot here. I'll make a McRib. That's what I'll do. Is at some point I'll make a McRib with it, and we'll go from there. I'll let you know. But yeah, the French fries, you can never go wrong with it. So
right,
Grant, take us home.
So I guess it's my turn.
Just like Country Roads.
Take me home.
How awesome was that? Was
in Germany there?
Oh my God, it's so awesome.
Yes, it made the people of West Virginia look like they don't know what they're doing when they sing that song. And when they sing that song, it's beautiful. So
there's not many things beautiful about people from West Virginia.
No, I mean they don't have cars. They actually just
Or
go
teeth.
from tree or teeth. They just go from tree vine to tree vine.
They just ride their cousin.
That they also
too, yeah.
All
right, Grant, potatoes.
Some ugly looking people in West Virginia, and that's why. So the first one I'm going to start with, I'm killing is it's kind of, I don't know, it's the like the breakfast one with like it's the diced potatoes with the peppers and the onions on there. I'm killing that because
O'Brien hash browns.
The O'Brien hash browns, I'm killing them because the potatoes are never cooked through. They're always hard.
If you try to cook them through, you burn the shit out of them.
Yeah, exactly. They're just, you can tell they're not cooked through. They're tough on your teeth. It doesn't taste good. You always overcook the vegetables on there. You can do so much with potatoes, but potato O'Briens, no, I'm getting them the hell out of there. And I really don't ever want to see them again.
Totally fair.
So yeah, potato O'Briens, like I said, we're getting them the hell out of here. And this time, so what kind of potato are we fucking this week? I'm gonna go with Dylan. I'm gonna say a French fry, but I'm going a specific French fry.
Okay.
We're going waffle fry.
Well, here, let me stop you here. Is when you said you were fucking a potato and you said my name, I was off limits. I'm not a potato. I'm not brain dead here, guy.
No, I know you're not a vegetable.
A vegetable. You're just a side.
That's also we've also referred to vegetables as potatoes as a joke too. That was
But where I was
everyone
trying to
thinks
go
we are
with
terrible people, no doubt about it.
Is I'm picking a French fry, but I'm going with a specific French fry for who I'm fucking this week, and that's gonna be Ethan from Bunny's, the waffle fries in the seasoned sour cream.
Okay. Yep.
You little whore.
I'm such a whore for their waffle fries.
Yeah, you and their seasoned sour cream. You are the biggest slut ever.
I was gonna say I'm a seasoned sour cream slut. I'm a waffle fry whore.
You might shove it somewhere so you can eat it later.
All I'm gonna say is I might need a new pair of underwear after this conversation.
And you don't even have any peanut butter.
There's not even seasoned sour cream down there either.
But it's just the seasoning on the sour cream, the crispiness on the waffle fries. They're just fantastic, and they can go with anything. A chicken sandwich, if you're having a pork tenderloin, a burger. Hell, even if I'm getting, let's say, a pasta there, an Alfredo, maybe give me a side of waffle fries. I can't get enough.
It's their own.
But again, once again, I'm gonna agree with Ethan. We're marrying the mashed potatoes.
Yep.
And it all comes down to the mashed potatoes my grandpa made. When we'd go over there to eat, you'd have, I don't know, let's say a dozen, potatoes, you mash those up, but it's the butter and it was the half and half, the heavy whipping cream. We're not going to the milk. We're going stuff that's clogging your artery on there. You mix that up, you get a little gravy on top. I don't think anything can beat it.
Is the gravy homemade?
Sometimes it was. Sometimes it was out of the package. Maybe just depended on what he had in his cabinet or in his pantry there. But something about those mashed potatoes, it's just perfect. You go to KFC, you get a thing of coleslaw, and you get a side of mashed potatoes. It's just, and a couple of weeks ago, we talked about comfort food. Well, what did I say? I said meatloaf. You know what would go great with that meatloaf? A side of mashed potatoes.
Yep.
If you're going down south and you get a country fried steak, guess what? I'm having a side of mashed potatoes there.
Is that what you're getting this weekend?
I'm thinking about it right now.
Are you going down to the Cracker Barrel and getting you a country fried steak with some mashed potatoes?
That Cracker Barrel in Tulsa and or Oklahoma City, just something about that sounds so perfect right now. So I might have to speak that into existence, because Cracker Barrels in the South are so much better than what we have up here in Minneapolis.
True.
I remember going to the one in Chattanooga, Tennessee earlier this spring, and I was like, you know what? I'm on vacation. I don't want to just get a water. I said, oh, can I get a Coke with that? And the waitress goes, "Now, sweetheart." Now she goes, "Sweetheart, do you want the cherry in there?" And I was just like, a Southern lady called me a sweetheart. I'm at a Cracker Barrel. This is
Did
the
you
way
get a
God
sweet tea
intended
then,
life
too?
to be. I didn't get any sweet tea.
Oh,
But-
well, if she calls you sweet, that feels like a
It
true
feels
Southern
like
meal.
that-
You have to get that sweet tea. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like this is the way God intended it to be. But again, I'm pretty sure the meal I had there, guess what? Mashed potatoes were on the side with that. So they go with everything, and they're all so good.
This might be a controversial opinion, but I think mashed potatoes with steak is better than steak with a baked potato.
I'm with you 100% of the way.
Yep.
I think that's crazy.
Yep. And if you another the honorable mention potato is the twice baked potato.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
You know how earlier how Ethan said, me and him, whenever we grill, we're gonna eat a whole bag of potato chips before we put our food on the grill.
Yeah.
You know what's also going on the grill after that? A bacon cheddar twice baked potato.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Every time.
Every time. I've even gotten to the point where I stopped asking Ethan, should I get a potato? And he just expects me to bring 2 or 3
Yeah,
potatoes.
it's like if you don't, I almost leave.
I know.
I would if I were you. E.
I deserve better.
Or the garlic mashed. That's always a nice one too.
Yes.
I mean, I love potatoes.
They're just the best.
Wedges are good. Tater tot. I mean, we forgot.
Oh,
about
I
tater
forgot
tots. Our honorable mentions might be better than our actual list.
I forgot about the tots. How can we forget about the tots?
They're just a forgotten food. I was thinking about that a while ago, or like, I made this for a Super Bowl party a couple of years ago. I made the buffalo tots, buffalo chicken tots.
Oh yeah.
That was really good.
I couldn't be the only one in school that would put tater tots from lunch in his pocket, right?
Napoleon Dynamite did that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure my fat ass just ate them all.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
I had a kid in junior high. He didn't do it with tater tots. He'd do it with craisins.
What?
We'd be going to math. We'd be sitting in math class. And he'd go, "Hey, Grass, you want some craisins?" I'm like, "No, they were in your pocket. Gross." And he'd just be digging in there. And one at the time, the teacher caught him, and he filled 2. And it was back when the cargo pants were in, so he had those big side pockets.
Oh yeah.
And he filled both of his pants, his cargo pants, up with them, and he was pulling them out and just dumping them on the table, just one after one. It was I think he did it 4 times, and then he had to go to the other side, and he was doing the same thing.
Dylan, have you checked the North Dakota mental institution to see if this young man is there?
I have not. I
think you should.
You know what? I might have to, but that's a good way to end it. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week with some recaps, previews after NDSU takes care in the rivalry. Check us out on all of our social medias: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at 3GTB Podcast, 3 Guys Talking Ball Podcast Facebook page. Follow us all there. We'll be posting things. Our YouTube, our segments of the show will be out on Friday. That's all we got for today. Thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you next week.